Okay guys, so I wanted to show you how to set these valves up so you don't get them all mixed up here. Basically all you do is take a piece of cardboard, punch a bunch of holes in it, and then just write exhaust. I put front right here, it's the front of the head, and I actually numbered each one, number 1, number 2, blah blah blah, all the way down exhaust. Same thing with the intake. Another thing, something else a need to know deal here, is taking these valve seals off. You can actually just, they make tools for taking these valve seals off, but this is a valve stem seal remover. This is what it looks like, and basically it just grabs a hold of the valve seal, and then this slide hammer, you just knock it off. But it's just as easy on this type to take a small screwdriver and a small hammer, and then just wedge it underneath there very gently, and pop that valve seal off there. Let's see, I got this one right here, already lifted up a little bit. See, so it's not hard to do, but it's something to know. Also, I'm taking off these valve springs. You got the valve spring on here like this, right? You got your valve stem sticking through, and you got your retainer sitting up here, and then you have these. I guess they're, I don't know what degree lock this is. Excuse me, but you have these retainer locks holding the valve retainer to the valve stem. And basically what I do is I just get a dead blow hammer, like so. And what I'll do is I'll take like an old t-shirt or something and wad that t-shirt up real tight and set it up underneath the head on those valves, and then set the head down, and then just take a socket like this and whack that valve spring, pretty hard. You got to hit it pretty hard, but you're not going to damage the valve because the valve is on that soft towel or whatever you use to bind that valve so it doesn't go down whenever you tap on it there. You got to be careful because those locks will fly out of there if you're not careful, so. But anyway, that's where we're at right here, and I always keep the valve springs in order too, as you can see. So that's where we're at, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to, I was going to show you that valve that I did. It was number 3. Now this one right here is not finished. This is about 30 seconds on that, with that coarse lapping material. And as you can see, just 30 seconds grinding with that coarse material almost got all of the pitting out of that valve, so it's not going to take very much. I'll grind it for probably about another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then use the fine, not the coarse, but the fine lapping compound on it, and that valve will be good to go. Put it back in there, and I think it'll run like a brand new engine. But this is where we're at right now. I haven't replaced the lifters yet. I'm going to do that. I am going to put an oil pump in it. I don't know if I mentioned that in previous inputs on this video, but I am going to do an oil pump. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that's done on these Jeeps and stuff like that, and that's where we're at. I may possibly I'm going to pull a end cap off the rod and see if it's worn into the babbitt or worn through the babbitt. If it is, I'll go ahead and throw a set of rod bearings in it. I'm not going to mess with the crank bearings because it's not making any noise. It's got a little bit of a noise at an idle, but off idle it doesn't make any noise at all. So, or acceleration, deceleration. So, main bearings most likely are okay. Shouldn't be a problem there. But like I said, I'll look at the rod bearings and determine whether I need to replace the bearings in this thing. If so, then you'll get to see how to put some bearings in a vehicle without taking the engine out of it. So it's not the proper way to do it, guys, but it's the shade tree way to do it to save a bunch of money, because taking that engine apart and doing the machine work to get this thing back to like new condition is very expensive. You're looking at close to $2,000 with me doing the labor. I put new pistons, boring the block, line honing the crankshaft journals, resizing the rods, new freaking cam, everything. You're talking about everything new valve springs. I mean, to do this thing back to original condition is very expensive. So, like I said, I'm shade treeing it, and I'll show you how to polish the crank so that you don't damage the crank and damage the bearings whenever you're going back in there, just to get the heavy deposits off the crank. Look at me, I'm shaking, man. Sorry about that, guys. Just to get the heavy material deposits off the crank journal, rod journal. You know, just polish it up a little bit so you don't damage it. So you put the new bearing in there, and be good to go for many miles. So this is where we're at. We got the head off. Like I said, I haven't pulled any of the lifters out yet. I'm going to leave that until I've completed this head work. I've got the engine sealed up. I don't want any water in there. I don't want any water getting on the cylinders or rusty cylinder walls. But this is where we're at, guys, and we will get back to you later. Again, it was number 4 exhaust. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 exhaust. That was the problem child. So hopefully we'll get this thing back together in the next, you know, I don't know how long, because I got a lot of work to do to it, but keep you up to date. Peace. I might go ahead and upload this video and then start another video so you don't have to sit through an hour video. All right, I'm out of here. Peace, guys.